Hello guys, it's me Elder from Lodge Lemire. Welcome to a workflow quickie. In this tutorial I'd like to show you guys how to set up a custom layout similar to my hair and production tools work layout. I had a comment from Flockabard and he was he didn't find the tutorials as conducive as they could have been, mainly because I was using non-standard layouts. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how to quickly create this one, which has some hair tools here and a couple of selection tools here, and also has this custom timeline and content browser here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the startup layout, which is a pretty basic Cinema 4D layout. Something that a lot of you probably pretty used to. And what we want to do is we want to right click and go to customize palettes, and now we have the ability to customize our palettes. Alright, so over here we have every command in Cinema 4D available to us, including commands from plugins. Alright, so what we can do is we can come to any of these menus up here in the menus, and we can click this bar here, which is a bunch of dots and a bar, and it looks like a bar, and we can just click it, left click it, and it tears off the menu. Alright, so if we want our MoGraph objects, say here, so that we can have easy access to them, then all we have to do is just tear off the MoGraph menu and then just go ahead and remove the stuff that we don't really want. So to do that, we just double click here and we can start to clean up this menu. So what I'm doing is I'm double clicking to get rid of the grid lines as well, these group separators. You click and drag the group separator, you can add a group separator like so, but I'm just going to go ahead and just remove all these group separators and icon separators. Alright, and so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click show, or click icon size rather, and make these large icons. And then these initial original Cinema 4D icons are laid out typically in rows. In this particular case, I think this is going to look good with 2 columns, 2 rows. Alright, so it's pretty much going to look kind of like this when it flies out, which is kind of what we want. The only other thing I want to do with this menu here is we're going to go ahead and fold it. And you want to fold it while it looks the way that you want it to look when it's going to fly out. And then you want to customize it now to match this look here. So what we can do is we can go ahead and change the icon, or change the show to not showing text. Then we can just drag this up by dragging on the icon itself and just drop it here in this palette, and we're set. And that's pretty much how you would get a new specialized icon up here. Okay, now to add some of our hair tools, we've got let's see, my hair selection tools. This allows me to select different hairs. I can add those over here by just dragging the actual bar itself. And what'll happen is it'll come up with this nice little white line that lets me know where it's going to be dropped to. And I can just place it in a nice spot on my layout. And in this particular case, I'm going to place it next to the viewer. So it's kind of over top this little area here with the object coordinates and the material browser, but it's not necessarily in this area here where it's going to offset this whole entire set of options there. Alright, and then I can right click on the little bar that I normally would use to tear it off, and I can go ahead and change its options to not show text, and I can change its options to display its icon size. In this case, I want the icon size to be large. I like large expressive icons. We can go to the hair menu, and we can also pull out the hair mode tools, which allows us to change the different modes of our hair guides and things if we were dealing with hair. And I use hair all the time for motion graphics. So I really like to have those tools. And we can go ahead and make those icons large as well. And then from here in the hair menu, I also pulled out the hair tools themselves, which allows me to actually groom the hair. Alright. And I'm probably going to do a tutorial for hair very soon. Probably after I do my render farm tutorial. I'll go ahead and get rid of text. And we're going to go ahead and make this palette large icons as well. So there we go. Pretty much matching up with the layout that I have for my hair production. Next, let's go ahead and grab Reset PSR, so I can actually type in the name of a command here in the name filter, and it'll pop up all the commands that match that name. And I can narrow this down to Reset PSR, and I can go ahead and create a new palette where I can actually store some of these commands that I'm about to pull out. So let's pull out the Reset PSR, pull out the convert, type in convert, and I think I have a command for convert to joints that I put in there as well. Convert to nulls. And alright, so with this palette created, let me go ahead and just make it look nice for myself. Let's see, we want them to show text, so it's going to look kind of like this when it flies out. And then we can finally do a fold, and then we can change this option here to not show text. And then we can drag this over here and add it to this side palette here, and add a group separator to just separate it out from everything else. Alright, so that takes care of that. Over here on the menus, we can go ahead and take all our axis centering commands, and we can go ahead and customize these as well. Let's do large icons, and let's do a orientation of 2. That should be okay. And we're gonna go ahead and fold this. Actually, what I want to do is get rid of these group separators. I think that's what's causing this to look weird. See, now it looks great. So once again, I double click to get rid of that group separator. It's like that little dark blue line. There was like a separation, and it was causing this weird look. And I'm gonna go ahead and fold this, and then finally customize its look to not have text. And I can just drag that right there. Close, close. And now you can see we have all these commands available to us, nicely laid out now. As for the standard layout commands, it looks like they're all laid out vertically. So we could come in, we really want these to be the way they are in default Cinema. We can go ahead and right click in some gray space anywhere in these palettes, and we can go to customize palettes. We can create, well, we could actually just, we can create a new palette. We can drag this back into the new palette, and then we can go ahead and unfold it. And now we've got the unfolded version of it. And then we can customize this to be just one row, vertical, like so. And then we can go ahead and fold it again. Just right click on any of these options here and just do a fold. And then right click on the option again and then do a not show text so that it becomes a little small icon. And there we go. And so now, yeah, it looks exactly like its compatriots. We'd have to do the same thing for reset PSR, but you get the idea. As if you're anal about it looking, you know, exactly like the rest of the interface looks. You know, like up here, I really wanted these cloners to look exactly like everything else looks. That way it doesn't jar me. It all looks like it was really a part of the interface. So there you go. All right. And then over here in the Windows menu, you got your different menus, your different panels that you can use to access different functionality in Cinema 4D. Here's your timeline. So for the timeline, what I like to do is if you right click on this little grid like box like looking thing, and here's one right here too, same thing. We can go ahead and make this a tab, convert it to a tab. So now the materials is a tab, and then we can click on this little box here and just drag it and drop it right on top of the materials tab. And now it adds the timeline as a tab next to materials. There you go. You know, now they're both side by side. We can take the content browser, which is a tab over here, and we can just drag it and drop it on top of timeline. Well, no, not the content browser tab itself, but I'm sorry, a little box. Always a little box, guys. Click on that, drag and drop it on top of timeline. And now it becomes a tab right next to timeline. And so there you go. You got your tabs at the bottom. The layers are located here, right underneath attributes. I like to see my layers at all times. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag on this little box once again. Drag it and drop it right above the coordinate layout. The coordinate layout is kind of important to me. I like to see it all the time. But it doesn't really need to take up a lot of space, so I'm just going to make that a little smaller, and then have the little layers over top of it, and there you go. So that is pretty much my layout. The only other thing is my selection tools. Really love to have my selection tools on the side here, so we're going to go ahead and tear those off, and we're going to go ahead and move those over here, so that they're available to us. And then we're going to customize this palette here, make the icon size large, and turn off show text. And there we go. And the only other thing is, this is going to take, this obviously goes all the way down here, and it's all up in timeline and materials grill, so that's no good. We might want to shorten this up, so what we can do is we can create a new palette, and we can go ahead and make the palette vertical, change its orientation to be vertical, and then we can just start to drag some of these icons off so we can create another palette for them, a separate palette. So starting with maybe here, select connected, go ahead and drag and drop off these options here. And start to slowly drag all of these over. And there we go. We've got that palette. And then I'm just going to double click to get rid of this icon separator here. And then finally I can take this palette and I can drag it over there. And now, you know, that's cleaned up. So there you go. That is the layout. The materials manager, I think I have my materials manager taking up the whole entire bottom space of the Cinema 4D layout, because I like my materials and my timeline to just be just a massive spot on the bottom of the interface. To do that, all we gotta do is just take the little boxes and just drag them and move them so that we get this stuff where we want it. And yeah, we want it all the way at the bottom of the interface. And so now the materials, we can go ahead and convert them to a tab. They are all the way at the bottom of the interface. We can do the same thing with the timeline and the content browser. So I'm honestly actually not sure entirely if I did do that. If I really did have them like this. I probably did, but actually I think the layers might have actually also been over to the side here too. I probably didn't do it exactly like this, but that is an option for you guys if you do want some sort of interface element to actually be all the way down at the bottom there. That is one way to do it. That is definitely one way to do it. All right, so that's pretty much it. With this layout created, what we want to do now is just hit Window, Customization, and save the layout as. And I've already been through this once by myself. I did a take and I didn't like it, so I just redid this again. But basically, you want to save it with a particular file name. You can call it whatever you want to call it. That's what's going to pop up here in this layout drop-down menu. And you can also go ahead and copy this address as well, this location on your hard drive where it's at. And if you hit the shortcut Windows key E, which is a very powerful Windows shortcut, it opens up Windows Explorer. The Windows key is the little button on your keyboard. It's going to look like a Windows key. If you're using an Apple keyboard with a Windows PC, because you're a multiple OS man like myself, then you could use the Command key probably. It's going to be Command E if you're on Windows. But either way, if you hit Control V, go ahead and paste it in there. You can take it directly, you can take Windows Explorer directly to this directory, and you can just go ahead and back up your custom layouts directly from here, put them on a hard drive somewhere, and that way, if you ever wipe out Cinema 4D, they will be available to you. Alright, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and save this layout, and we're going to replace it, yes, and there we go, we've got our new layout. Now we can switch back to startup. And then if we want to go back to our layout, we just switch back to our layout. And we are good to go. Alright. So that's it in a nutshell. Changing your layout in Cinema 4D. You know, just go through your menus and you know, if there are any options that you know you need to have regular access to, like say Riptide, you know, you just tear it off. And you can go ahead and right click and customize palettes, and you know, you can go ahead and do what you need to do. Alrighty, guys. So yeah, that's it for this quickie. I'm gonna have a render farm tutorial up for you guys very soon. We're gonna be covering ThinkBox's deadline, and we're gonna be covering Smedge. Both of them are rendering managers, which allow you to render out multiple jobs and passes of renders to multiple computers in your household. We're also going to be covering FreeNAS. I'm going to be showing you guys how to set that up, and then how to set up the hard drives and the permissions and everything, and get that working on a multi-operating system network so that you guys can render across multiple platforms. Alright, so look forward to that one. It's coming soon. And you guys take care.